Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of History Buff 41. Today we are taking a look at an assortment of entrenchment tools, sometimes called pioneer tools by those in Europe, used by the United States military in mostly World War II. We're just going to kind of go through these left from right, and we're going to kind of look at the progression as the war progressed and as we moved into the post-war period. So over here on the left, we're going to start out with this little hatchet, about what you'd expect for a typical camp axe. You can see a little bit of the green paint is still left on the blade of the axe. A little bit here on the handle too. You can see it's seen quite a bit of use. The back of it's got some dents and stuff on it. Kind of looks like it's been used as a hammer, probably to drive stakes or whatever one time. But you can see here, and it's kind of upside down here. We'll switch it around so it's right side up. It says U.S., and we have American Fork and Hoe Company, and 1944. So, for those of you who are more familiar with some of the martial tools used by the United States, i.e. bayonets, you will recognize that American Fork and Hoe was also a manufacturer of bayonets for the United States government during World War II. Basically, these little hatchets, you might have one in a squad. Depending on the time of the war and the duties, whether it was an infantry squad or heavy weapon squad, what have you, typically had between 8 and 12 people in it. And essentially, these little axes would be used to chop small tree limbs and to chop brush to either clear firing lanes for riflemen or machine gunners or artillerymen, or to cut small limbs and put over as cover and camouflage for gun emplacements or machine guns or foxholes, whatever the case may be. Originally, and unfortunately, the one that belonged to this has been lost to time, but there would have been a canvas cover very similar to what you'd see, the same material of the U.S. web gear, and it'd have the little model 1910 hanger on it, and it'd have the lift the dot snap button and whatever. And you'd carry this on your belt or your backpack or wherever. But this, like I say, these would have been issued about one to a squad. Most of your infantrymen would have had a shovel of some kind. This particular shovel is the model 1910, often referred to as the T-handled shovel. This was initially adopted, as the name suggests, prior to World War I. These were used in World War I and again widely in World War II. There are actually period photographs of soldiers coming off of the beach from D-Day in June of 1944, and on the back of their backpack are shovels just like this one. And we've kind of looked at this before in a previous episode, but we'll go over it here fairly quickly. You see our cover. It's kind of more of a tan or khaki color. You've got the U.S. on it. Over here, we have our manufacturer, which is, I don't know, it's worn and I can't read, but it looks like it's dated around 1942. We see our model 1910 hanger. You've got one strap that kind of holds it together and weaves around it. And if we open it up and take it out of the cover, this is what our shovel looks like. As you can see, quite a bit of experience behind this one. And if you look here on the handle, up there, it'll say right here, it says U.S. And there's probably, you can make out the U especially good right in there. And the S, you can just kind of see a little bit. Not seeing a maker's mark. A little too much rust on it. You see a little bit of maybe green paint, but it has, yep, okay, here's US again stamped in the wood. But again, you can see a lot of good, honest wear on this. A lot of the reenacting, there's a lot of companies for reenactors. Well, and I guess probably for museums and stuff too, are making reproductions of these high quality. But you can see this one here's got a lot of good, honest wear here on the handle. Like, obvious to see where it gets its nickname, T-handle shovel. So these were used widely, in World War I and World War II. But there was a couple of drawbacks to them. Number one, as you can see, I mean, this isn't more than probably about 2 feet in length, maybe a little longer. And then here with the carrier on it, the way it sits, it's very hard to get this shovel off of your haversack or your backpack. You pretty much have to take the whole kit and caboodle off, which if you're using the model 1928 or the model 1910, yeah, that's kind of an involved process because that's also hooked into your ammunition belt or your pistol belt, and so you're essentially taking off all of your gear just to get to your shovel and dig in for the night or dig into a position. Um, and again, if you're in a combat situation where you're moving up with infantry soldiers and you've got, you plop down on the ground and you've just got a few seconds to dig up a little breastwork or to dig a position for your mortar or your machine gun or, just yourself as a infantryman, that's going to be kind of hard to do with this. So they developed something a little bit different and adopted in 1943 a different shovel. And with this, you can see the cover is a little bit different. You have a three position spot here for your M1910 hanger. You can adjust how this hangs off of your backpack so you can reach it on your back better. You've got the lift the dot snap, which is a lot easier to handle than that strap. That strap is a lot of work if you have it worked in. This one here has been reinforced like the model 1956 covers with a little bit of leather to help protect it from wear and tear. And if we zoom in here, we can see, I can get the lighting right, we can see a maker's mark, Tulsa Canvas Products Company, 1945, and this is the darker green. And if we open it up, or I'm sorry, slide out the shovel, you can see that it's folded over. And again, zooming in, we see our U.S. stamp, and then it says Ames 1944. There's still a good amount of paint, green paint on this, on the shovel itself as well as the handle. And folded over, it's about the same length as the total length of the T-handled shovel. But if I unscrew, if I unscrew this, loosen this nut a little bit, that allows me to unfold my shovel, and I can either have it out like this and tighten it up and use it to dig with, or if it's, which would be best for, soft dirt, or if it's harder dirt or kind of rocky, I can use it like this and have it a little more kind of like a garden hoe and dig through that way. So again, most of your guys in your squad are going to have a entrenchment tool like this model 1943. And so another thing that was carried is this model 1910 pickaxe. And as you can see, it comes in two pieces. We've got our hanger here to hang it again from our backpack. And you would simply lift up on this, and this removes the handle. And then we've got our little carrier here. You undo the strap. Going to take two hands. Might actually take more than two hands. You undo the strap here, loosen it up and pull it out, and undo it that way, and we pull out. We have a sharp end here and a little kind of wider, more like a garden hoe in here. Take a quick look at our cover. You can see it's kind of a two-tone green color. Sometimes that's called a transitional color. We have the manufacturer here. It says W.L. Dumas Manufacturing Company, 1944. And so we have here on the handle, get it in the light, yeah, there we go. It's marked U.S. and there is a manufacturer in there, that Diamond Clark Products Company. Looks like it says maybe DHCO underneath of it. And then here's a little hole in the handle that you could run like a strap or something through to help put it around your wrist. And then again, You see here on the wider part of the pickaxe, it's marked US, and it looks like we got a double stamp, but it's kind of hard to read, but I think it says Diamond Clark again in the year 1944. So to put this together, you simply take the metal part and you drop the handle through like this, and then when you go to use it, you go down like that and pull it towards you, and the in here is kind of beveled out, and this is beveled in so that the two lock together and you can't take it off. I actually learned that the hard way one time because I was trying to punch it through that way the rest of the way, and I had hammers and punches and everything else, and then I finally just by accident went like that and it came undone. But this would be good for like hard rocky soil or frozen ground, and you cut through that, you get into the little more softer stuff, and then you can move into your 1910 or your 1943 shovel. So after the war, there was an evaluation of entrenchment tools done, and we developed this. This is a model 1951, and we looked at it a little bit earlier in a previous video. It, of course, has the model 1956 cover with Alice clips on it. If you want more details on that, you can go look at the other video. But if we look here, provided I can get the cover off, what they've actually done is combined our folding M1943 shovel with locking nut and the model 1910 pickaxe, and so you've got kind of the narrow end of the pickaxe on one side of the shovel, and then you've got this shovel here on the other side you can dig in with, and these are pretty widely used. Don't see them as much in Korean War era photographs, but you see them a lot in the Vietnam era photographs. Actually, the guy that I bought this off of said that was a Vietnam veteran and said he dug a lot of holes with one of these when he was in country. So that's that for this video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I really want to say a great big thank you to everyone. You guys really like canteens. Our last video on World War II U.S. canteens took off like you wouldn't believe, and so I want to say thank you to everybody who watched it, and I want to say thank you to everyone who's watching this video and has supported my channel for about the last year, and we're just a few days ahead of Thanksgiving, so if you're still watching at this point, have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching.